In the last video, we looked at the technology underneath crypto, blockchain. And once you understand that technology, as I said, something really interesting happens because the conversation stops being about coins and speculation, and it starts being around what people are actually building with it. Because developers, companies, and investors around the world have been building systems on blockchain for many years. And that's the part most people never really see. When the media talks about crypto, it tends to focus on the most dramatic bits. Prices rising, prices crashing, people getting rich, people losing money. And that's a bit like judging the internet purely on looking at stock prices during a dot-com boom. What often gets missed is the industries that quietly are developing underneath that. Think back to the early days of the internet. In the mid-90s, most people thought the internet was just websites, a few web pages and some email, maybe the odd online forum. But underneath that simple surface, developers were building the infrastructure that would eventually power the digital economy. Amazon launched in 1994, Google 1998, and today those companies are worth trillions of dollars. Not because they built websites, but because they built the systems that the internet now runs on. And so something really similar is happening with blockchain technology. Developers around the world are building networks, platforms, and financial systems using blockchain as the foundation. And this ecosystem has grown far larger than most people realize. There are thousands of blockchain projects globally. Some focus on payments, some on digital identity, others work on supply chains, decentralized finance, digital ownership, or secure data systems. Many of the companies building these technologies are now worth hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars. In fact, there are hundreds of projects within the blockchain ecosystem with market capitalizations of over $100 million, and many also valued at over $1 billion. Some of these operate like traditional tech companies. They raise venture capital, they hire engineering teams, they build platforms and services. Others operate through something called token networks, where the platform itself has a digital asset that helps power the system. That token might be used for something like payments or governance or access to the network or to secure the system. And this is the moment where many sensible people pause and think something quite reasonable. They think, hang on, does that mean that the crypto world is not full of scams? Of course, because large numbers of engineers, investors, and companies simply don't build entire industries around something that has no purpose. Just like the early internet, this space includes both serious innovation and a fair amount of speculation. But underneath the noise, something significant is being built. Today, the global crypto ecosystem fluctuates around $2 to $3 trillion in value. That doesn't mean that every project is legitimate, but it does show us that the sector itself has become increasingly substantial. It also helps explain why more and more developers, companies, and investors, people like myself, are paying attention. But perhaps the most interesting development in recent years is this: the financial institutions that once dismissed crypto are quietly entering this space. Asset managers, banks, investment firms, and in fact some of the largest financial organizations in the world. For many years, so many of them criticized crypto. Some even said it was dangerous or pointless. And yet today, some of those same institutions are now building crypto products, offering custody services and launching blockchain projects of their own. So what changed? Because when organizations that manage trillions of dollars start positioning themselves around a technology, it's a signal that something bigger may be unfolding. In the next video, we're going to look at something that many everyday investors don't realize: why some of the world's largest financial institutions are taking crypto very seriously, and what that might tell us about where this whole story could be heading.